Well, we are back at Gill Coliseum. Barry Tompkins along with Lynn Shackelford. There is not much left except to get it started. To do that, let's have the introduction to the opening starting lineups with Ted Carlson. Ted?
Time now, fans, to meet your starting lineups for today's game. First for the Trojans of University of Southern California. At forward, wearing number 14 at 6'7", a senior from Pasadena, California, Barry Brooks. At forward, wearing number 20 at 6'6", a junior from Los Angeles, Maurice Williams. At center, number 33 at 6'6", a sophomore from Long Beach, California, James McDonald. At guard, wearing number 10, 6'2", a sophomore from Los Angeles, Jock Hill. At guard, number 11, 6'3", a junior from Dayton, Ohio, Dwight Anderson, and the rest of the Trojans. The head coach for University of Southern California, Stan Morrison. And now, starting for the number 1 Beavers of Oregon State University. At forward, wearing number 32, at 6'4", a junior from Oakland, California, Lester Connor. At forward, wearing number 52, at 6'8", a freshman from Minville, Charlie Sitton. At center, number 33, at 6'10 and a half, a senior from San Bernardino, Steve Johnson. At guard, wearing number 30, at 6'4", a senior from Portland, Mark Radford. At guard, number 22, at 6'4", a senior from Portland, Ray Balloom. And the head coach for Oregon State University, Ralph Miller.
So we are back at courtside. We are just about ready to tip it off. And we'll be back with more from Gill Coliseum. 3 officials, of course, working in the Pac-10 Conference. Let's have a chance to look at them. We'll meet them after the opening tip-off. Meanwhile, we are just about set to go here at Gill Coliseum.
The obvious thing to see at the start, Barry, is the big height advantage that Steve Johnson jumping in there is going to have against all the USC players. And that's something the USC is going to have to think about on defense all afternoon.
Well, the tip is controlled by USC. Johnson, a very dominant factor in the game the other night against UCLA. Jock Hill gives it up to Mo Williams. Over on the right side, Dwight Anderson now. Once more, this is Hill.
And like they did Thursday night against UCLA, the Beavers start in a zone defense.
Anderson out at the point now. Give it up to Hill again. Hill tries to penetrate, does so with the right hand, but it's a little bit short. And USC starting off very similar to the way it did the other night against Oregon. Took them 8 minutes to get a basket. Charlie Sitton with the ball now. Up top. That is Radford inside again to Sitton. They work off a high post. Up with the post runner. Up with the jumper is Radford. And the tip is here. The rebound controlled by Johnson. Over the Broom. Back out to Connor. They'll start it all over again. This is Connor. Lester Connor. Coming along very well. It's only his 3rd start of the year.
Yes, junior college transfer from Chabot, JC, and he's got a lot of physical ability.
Sitting underneath to Johnson.
Well, that's a good example of why Steve Johnson leads the country in field goal percentage right there. He gets a lot of shots in close.
Comes into this game with a 67% field goal percentage, and that is not real bad. Full court press right now, just sort of a token full court press. The Beavers now back off, and Jock Hill will bring it across the center line. This is Dwight Anderson, number 11, playing only in his 3rd game. He was not eligible until the 26th of January. At halftime, as a matter of fact, of that game. This is McDonald, can't quite control the ball, gives it up to Connor. Beavers have a 2-on-2, and they'll slow it down, play their very deliberate offense. Here's Charlie Sitton from outside, and he's got it.
I've been watching him for the past month, and he gets better every time he plays. He's got a wonderful jump shot, and he's starting to get a lot more confidence in it out there, as you can see.
He also is listed as 6'8", and he looks every bit as big as Steve Johnson.
He's got arms of a man about 7 feet tall, I think.
Once again, token pressure in the backcourt by Oregon State, and they drop off now. USC looks to be a little bit nervous. This is Barry Brooks with the ball to Hill, swing it over to Anderson. In the corner to Mo Williams. Williams working one-on-one with Johnson. And up now with a jumper goes McDonald. It comes up short. And SC really having all kinds of problems getting the ball to fall. On the floor now as Johnson will have a jump ball. Should mention, Lynn, USC did not make its first field goal against Oregon for 8 minutes.
I look for USC maybe to play a better game than they did Thursday night against the Oregon Ducks, although Oregon played very well in the victory. Not that they were looking past Oregon, but I think you play sometimes really well when you're playing the #1 team in the country. You can't help but look forward to playing them.
And Mo Williams actually got the tip that time. Here to the hoop goes Connor for two. And the Beavers starting out really quickly with a 6-0 lead over the visiting Trojans.
That's an example of what we said about all the physical talent Lester Connor has. He put a great fake on that time on the drive.
Ralph Miller has said that the key to his basketball team is its passing and its defense. And early on here, the Beavers are showing that just definitively. This is Mo Williams now. Double team starts to go up. We got a whistle and a foul is called. I believe it's going to go against Ray Bloom.
Little reaching in foul there by Ray Bloom. USC is really looking for a leader right now, and that's one of their big problems. Jock Hill is their quarterback out there and running the plays and everything. If Dwight Anderson, it's probably too early, if he could ever take over running this club, he's got the ability to do it. That would really help.
This is Jock Hill, has the opportunity jumper and gets it down for the first basket of the afternoon for the USC Trojans. 6-2 ball game, about 2.5 minutes in. This is Lester Connor, give it up to Steve Johnson underneath. Turnaround jump shot, a little bit long that time. Anderson there for the boards along with Brooks, and Brooks comes away with it for the Trojans. To Anderson, out in front is McDonald to the hoop, and a beautiful block that time by Sitton. Come the other way with the Beavers. Bloom as Sitton got a hand on the ball beautifully from nowhere. Charlie Sitton outside about 20 feet up for the jumper, in and out won't go. Brooks rebound.
One thing I look for a real good game to watch here this afternoon. Stan Morrison, the USC coach, said he's not going to use any gimmicks. He's just going to play his game, and he likes to get the ball in the front court in a hurry.
Brooks has a jumper from 18 feet, and that brings the Trojans to within 2 points for the hometown Beavers. Lester Connor, number 32, brings it up for Oregon State. This is Radford underneath to Johnson again. Johnson gets the step, but from behind, McDonald blocked it. Johnson back with it. McDonald gets a hand on it. Trojans trying to get a hand on it again, and that time Dwight Anderson runs directly in to Charlie Sitton, and Sitton is going to get whistled.
That was a tough one to call. I think they ruled that Sitton did not give Anderson room to turn around, and I like that call. Sitton, a freshman with the immense amount of talent, does have a problem of getting in too many fouls, picking up too many.
Stan Morrison before the game was saying, too, that Oregon State has a great ability to draw the charging foul. That time they got called for it themselves, not for charging, but for blocking. Jock Hill with the ball now. 6-4 ball game. 3.5 minutes in. Dwight Anderson holds it high over his head, guarded by Ray Bloom right now. This is McDonald at the high post. James McDonald listed at 6'6". Stan Morrison says he's 6'4.5". Right hand, kind of a half hook shot by Anderson. Won't go. Batted around on the rebound. Johnson comes away with it to Sitton. Now Lester Connor, point. Oregon State playing something of a 1-4 kind of offense. 2 people on the high post, 2 people on the sideline. This is Charlie Sitton out in front now to Ray Bloom. Underneath it goes to Johnson. Double team. Give it up to Connor. Connor has the jumper from 15 and has it.
Well, I think that's what USC wants, though. They're really triple teaming Steve Johnson in there, and they want Oregon State to have to beat you with those kind of jump shots rather than give up the easy ones underneath that Johnson could get.
Oregon State does nothing fancy. They just somehow get the job done. They really only have 2 offenses, according to their coach, Ralph Miller. 2 sets, 2 plays. There's Mo Williams outside. Jock Hill now at the point.
Oregon State started in a zone, then they went to man-to-man. Now they're back in a zone again.
They give you a lot of different looks defensively, and they really will hawk the ball, too. Anderson gets it over to Brooks, who has the jumper. Won't go a little bit long. Johnson to the boards again. Outlet pass this time comes to Radford. Radford give it up to Bloom in the corner. Bloom to Johnson coming down the lane. Has it one-on-one, and Mo Williams gets a hand on the ball, but gets Johnson with the body, and a little bit of pushing going on between Johnson and Mo Williams. Williams did get the block on the ball, but he also got Johnson with the body.
Yeah, there was no question that there was a foul there. There you see, he got him all over the arm, body, and everything else. Mo's kind of psyched up for the game, got himself a little carried away there.
Morrison was saying that Mo Williams, since, in fact, the last game that you and I did together, the UCLA game, has been a very, very consistent performance.
Yeah, that game really kind of propelled him into perhaps stardom. He's become the leading rebounder on the team, Mo Williams, as we look at Steve Johnson, and he's really turned into a fine all-around player. Used to be basically an outside shooter.
Johnson, very fine free throw shooter. Had 16 straight until that streak was broken against UCLA on Thursday night. But believe me, that's the only thing he did wrong against UCLA. And this is that one.
Yeah, he leads the country in field goal percentage. 77% coming off that great 27-point performance against UCLA on Thursday.
Nobody stopped him for UCLA. Kenny Fields had all kinds of trouble with him in the first half. They went to Mark Eaton in the second half, and he just ate Eaton alive. Eaton, of course, 7'3".
Official timeout.
And we've got a timeout on the floor, but we'll be coming back to Gill Coliseum right after this message.
Here's the most unique home video available for the sports fan, and a collector's item for the avid golf fan. Great players, great shots, unbelievable action. It's chock full of the most amazing shots ever, from the ridiculous to the sublime. You have to have this video. Get golf's greatest hits at Herman's World of Sports and other leading retailers, or call 800-473-7529. Golf's greatest hits, go get it now.
They missed their first 4 layups against Oregon. They had 4 cripple shots in a row, missed them all. And that set the tone for a loss. Surprising loss at that. This is Dwight Anderson. Anderson working against Lester Connor. And on top to Jock Hill.
Yeah, number 11, Anderson's playing real conservative right now. I think each time he gets the ball, he could probably work himself in for a pretty good shot, but he's trying to work with the rest of the players. That's good. This is only his 3rd game with the Trojans, and one of them he only played half.
A little bit tight, and obviously trying to impress as much as possible. This is Anderson, gives it up, doesn't take the shot. Turnaround jumper by McDonald, won't go, a little bit too long. And it goes off the fingertips of Ray Bloom. Here's the game that you just saw moments ago. Georgetown beating UNLV. Great game, right down to the wire. Georgetown wins it by a point.
Yeah, and Jerry Tarkanian's running Rebels now are only 10-9, I believe. That's a slow start for them.
Also a very low-scoring game for them. This is Ray Bloom out in front, catches up with the ball, tries to go backdoor, can't quite do it, comes up a little bit short, not happy with himself at all, but a foul is called against Barry Brooks, so he's going to get another chance.
That's an example of Oregon State, the talent they have. Great steal by Radford. He comes down the other way. Bloom has the layup. He's mad at himself because he missed it so badly, and Connor was there with that quickness for position. Brooks fouled him.
So Connor will inbound for Oregon State, gives it up to Radford. Radford working one-on-one against Anderson and bumps into Anderson. Anderson comes up a little bit sore, and we got an official's timeout.
I think, and this is a basketball player always is afraid of this, when your knee collides with another player's knee. And I think it just kind of stunned him. I think he's going to be able to walk it off, Dwight Anderson. But that's always scary when you're down there in that defensive position.
Inbound pass comes to McDonald, and McDonald gives it up to Jock Hill. Hill works one-on-one for the moment with Ray Bloom. Beavers back in a man-to-man defense, and Johnson reaches in on Williams.
The foul number 33, Steve Johnson. That's his first foul.
First foul against Steve Johnson. Mo Williams will inbound for USC. 9-4 ball game. Just about 5.5 minutes into this first half. This is Jock Hill. Looks to Anderson. Anderson takes the jumper this time. Nice soft touch, but it won't go. And Johnson has his 4th rebound of the afternoon. To Connor. Down in the corner now. Rob Holbrook in the ball game now for Oregon State. This is he, number 43. Ray Bloom swinging around for Radford. Back to Bloom. Over to Holbrook. Looks inside. Decides not to do it. We got a whistle, and a foul is going to be called against Anderson. Against Hill, I beg your pardon.
USC's playing a good, aggressive man-to-man defense. Oregon State's got the patience. They'll wait, and they'll try to figure it out. They got some smart players out there on the court. They'll look for some openings.
3rd team foul for USC. Each team with 3 now.
Of course, when we go to the 7th team foul, we go to the bonus, 1-1.
This is Radford inside to Holbrook. Pretty good turnaround move, but he's shut off the baseline. Back to Bloom and back to Radford. Radford tries to penetrate now, forces up a shot that won't go, but gets his own rebound back and has it. Mark Radford really staying with it that time. Took a bad percentage shot at first, and you won't see Oregon State do that very much.
No, he really did force that. Radford's having an outstanding year. One of the more underrated players in the Pac-10.
I want to welcome our viewers down at KNBC in Los Angeles who've just joined us here. 13-19 remaining in the first half, and another 2 points that time put up by Mo Williams makes it an 11-6 ball game. Ray Bloom takes the shot this time, in and out, won't go. Holbrook with the rebound, it won't go either. Holbrook still there, but McDonald comes away, and the Trojans down with a 2-on-1. Anderson all the way to the hoop for 2. Dwight Anderson that time, seeing the opportunity to run, took advantage of it, and Oregon State, for one of the few times, did not get back.
Yeah, you don't see the other team get too many fast breaks against Oregon State. That was unusual, but I'll tell you, if Anderson gets out there, he will take advantage of it in a hurry.
We'll pause 5 stations. 5 seconds. That's the word for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
Number 33, Steve Johnson on the pass from Lester Connor.
Steve Johnson with that basket that time. And once he gets positioned inside, he is awfully tough to stop. Lester Connor picks the man clean as Barry Brooks comes up empty to Bloom to Connor for 2. And no basket. No basket.
Yeah, Bloom probably should have taken the shot in view of the fact that he was fouled. The foul came right there. But that's Ray Bloom. He's an unselfish player. It's a nice pass. Connor made a wonderful steal that time.
Now, Ralph Miller before the game was telling us what a marvelous defensive player Connor is, and he's still learning too, just kind of coming along, improving with each game. As he mentioned, this is his 3rd start of the year. He started the very first game. Ray Bloom takes the jump shot and has it. Connor started the very first game of the year and then sat down until just Thursday night against UCLA, and now he is a fixture at that starting spot. 15-8 ball game. This is Barry Brooks. Trojans still playing a little bit tentative right now to Anderson. Back to Jock Hill. Nobody really seems to be taking control for USC. Hill again to Anderson. Anderson guarded right now by Ray Bloom. Bloom cuts him off the baseline. Hill once more, and coming up, William Brew that time. Tried to cut off Jock Hill before he got to the ball, but came up underneath him and got his legs out from under him. First foul for him. He had a very fine game, incidentally, just the other night against UCLA coming off the bench. Timeout is called by Oregon State. 11:51 to go in the first half. We have a 15-8 ball game.
Here's the sports video collection that you've been waiting for. All-American Sports Classics. These are the greatest sporting events of the century. Now included in collectible home videos. The greatest players, the greatest plays, the greatest games. Look for All-America Sports Classics at Camelot and other leading retailers. Or call 800-473-7529 and order them by mail. The catalog is free. Go get them now.
And we are back to Gill Coliseum. 11:51 remain to be played here in the first half. Oregon State leads the ball game 15-8 significantly, Lynn. Oregon State has not turned the ball over yet.
Yeah, and of course they've caused a few turnovers, and that's probably the big difference in a lot of the games. And they end up getting fast break baskets when they cause those turnovers. The Beavers, they'll take advantage of it.
Jock Hill with the ball now, over to Dwight Anderson. Down in the corner goes to Barry Brooks. Trojans still staying with the same 5 they started with. Connor tries to get a hand in there against Jock Hill. Whistle blows, foul called against Hill. Running into Ray Bloom.
What happened was Jock went around a man, and he didn't see Ray Bloom, who had established position right there, and Jock got a little shaken up, but there definitely was an offensive foul.
I tell you, a lot of talent.
Yeah, they draw that offensive foul well.
A lot of talent in this basketball game, and it's going to be tough to choose the Chevrolet player of the game. And there's any one of about 6 or 7 people out there who can win it on both sides of the floor. Johnson tries to get a pass over Mo Williams to Holbrook, rather, but he can't quite do it. Williams comes away with it. This is Hill. Back up to Williams, top of the key. Williams really the only Trojan who seems to be taking charge. Rebound comes down once more to Johnson, who's just owned that side of the court so far as the backboards are concerned. Lester Connor now with the ball for Oregon State to Ray Bloom, guarded by Jock Hill. Over to William Brew, guarded by Dwight Anderson. Back over to Bloom.
Nope, that's a hold right here.
A whistle and a foul away from the ball called against Mo Williams. Second foul for Mo Williams. Remember, USC has to make up for 15 points with the loss of Purvis Miller, and that's a very, very large thing to do, especially playing on the road and especially playing against the #1 team in the country. This is William Brew out at the point, over to Lester Connors, gone all the way so far. Johnson double teamed inside, gets it back up to Holbrook. Holbrook with a shot, nice soft touch. Rob Holbrook with the basket.
If you thought it looked like a set shot, you're right. It is basically that.
Come the other way now with Mo Williams over to Jock Hill. Hill to Anderson. Anderson over to Barry Brooks. Just Can't emphasize enough, USC just seems to be a little bit tentative with good reason. And once more, Lester Connor fast hands the ball away. Just picked his man clean that time. Over to Ray Bloom, 17-8 ball game. USC really in deep danger of being put away for good. Connor, follow-away jumper from the corner, won't go, and Williams cannot control the rebound. That's the kind of day it's been so far for SC.
Yeah, they do have to kind of regroup. But a lot of this frustration is caused by Oregon State. Now, it wasn't on that play, but Bo Williams was just too anxious to get going with that fast break when he was getting the rebound. He forgot about the ball.
USC has called for a timeout. What Oregon State is doing is they really are shutting off any lane to the basket. You see the score. Oregon State leads at 17-8, and we'll be back to Gill Coliseum.
It's every basketball fan's dream. All-American Sports Classics presents the greatest basketball games ever played. Regular season, tournament, NIT, even the Final Four. Incredible stars, amazing action. Look for college basketball's greatest games at leading retailers or call 800-473-7529. The catalog's free. College basketball's greatest games. Go get them now.
Back to action here at Gill Coliseum. Way out up top, William Brew. Underneath it goes to Holbrook. Holbrook playing very well so far today. That time throws a bad pass, put a jinx on him right now. Like Drew's mentioned, he's playing well, he throws the ball away.
Even though they're being doubled by the score, they're only down by 9 points. And a lot of time to play here in the first half. USC can get a basket here. They might start to feel they're in the game.
Trojans still only shooting 30%, and in fact, Oregon State only shooting 42%. They have not been below 50% all year long. This is Anderson, works one-on-one with Brew and can't quite get it to go down.
I think he's got to start working more to get his shot. They may have been telling him that in timeout because he's been a little hesitant so far.
So we come the other way with the Beavers now. Radford on the high post now. Steve Johnson. Johnson gets it over to Connor. Back out top to Brew. Brew swings it over to Radford. Beavers have played about 7 people so far. They're a good deep team. Nice pass underneath to Johnson. Doesn't take the shot. Holbrook with another one of those easy little step shots.
Well, again, USC is giving that shot away because they're double and triple teaming Steve Johnson.
I think that's really the thing about this team is you just can't go after any one individual because the other guy's going to beat you to death. Anderson double team now by Connor and Radford, and we're going to get a jump ball. He didn't advance it toward the basket within 5 seconds, and that means that Oregon State has a chance to get it back. They really do force mistakes.
They do. And, of course, they've got the crowd here. This is their 31st straight sellout in Gill Coliseum, and that always helps you force a few mistakes, too.
19-8 is the score. Jump ball at center court here. And Anderson gets a hand on the ball, but McDonald comes away with it. Anderson just a little bit of token pressure. Now he drops back on defense, and they let Jock Hill bring the ball across the timeline. Hill to McDonald on the high post. McDonald turns around, face the basket. Radford gets a hand on it. Johnson comes away with it. Give it up to Connor. Connor looks behind him, doesn't see anybody. Gives it to Radford. In the corner it goes to Sitton. Sitton holds the ball over his head. One dribble, turn around to Connor. Connor underneath to Johnson. 2.
Oh, that is a wonderful pass by Connor. He probably could have taken the shot. Beautiful vision, though, when he went up to see Steve Johnson. That's the best pass we've seen in the game, right there. Had the shot, but Johnson was there waiting.
I'll tell you, it is a very, very good basketball team that we're watching here today. They are #1 in the country, and you would have to say after the first 12 minutes of this game, deservedly so.
I think we got a little score burn time right now for Josh Hill. Connor will get the foul. Accidentally tripped number 5.
Connor goes over and looks at his man. Ralph Miller was saying before the game that Connor is just improving with every game, and he's looked awfully good today. Forced about 3 turnovers and just made that great pass, getting an assist on the shot by Johnson. 21-8 is the score. The unbeaten and #1 ranked Oregon State Beavers out in front of the USC Trojans here in Corvallis. Turnovers also tell a story. 7 turnovers, and they were not unforced turnovers. They were all forced by Oregon State. Beavers have turned the ball over 3 times now. Low Williams in the corner to McDonald. To Williams again, to Hill, to Anderson. Anderson struggling just a little bit today. Barry Brooks starts to take it to the baseline, gets cut off, gives it back out to Anderson. Anderson over to Hill. Crowd starts to get a little restless now. McDonald in the corner tries to get it to Cutter Williams, but can't get it through that Oregon State defense. Now Anderson again, this time shut off by Brew. Into the corner to McDonald, to Williams, back to Hill. Hill back to Anderson at the top, and the Trojans just have to start it all over again. They just cannot get penetration. Now Hill tries to force his way in and travels.
I'm not sure why, but I get the feeling that USC feels they have to work in against this zone and get a 5-foot shot. This zone is too good by Oregon State. They're not going to get it. They've got to open it up with some outside shooting.
Can't emphasize the point enough that the errors are not unforced errors. They are all set up by the outstanding defense that Oregon State has been playing. George Ratkovich comes on now for USC. And there you see the steals, 5 for Oregon State. They average 8 and change per game. So they're a little ahead of themselves right now. Johnson goes to the basket against 2 Trojans. Gets the ball batted away from him this time, and Anderson comes away with it. Anderson gives it to McDonald underneath to Brooks, and Brooks has it.
Number 14, Barry Brooks.
Oregon State this time burns the ball back the other way. Radford over to Brew. Brew at the point now. Looks inside to Sitton, gives it up to Radford instead. Cuts now. They go into the try to get that backdoor shot. Johnson takes it to the hoop right over. McDonald scores. It counts. He's fouled, and they have a chance to make it a 22-10 game.
Well, that was an example of the height advantage that Steve Johnson has over James McDonald. I think he's listed at 6'6", probably not even that tall. McDonald made the mistake of once Johnson got the ball, he was going to get an easy hoop. If you're going to foul him, don't let him make the basket. Foul him hard. But he compounded it by letting him make it and then fouling him.
Coming on for USC now, Mike Owens, number 42. He's another transfer who could not play until the 26th of January. Played a year at Pittsburgh before coming here. I think he averaged something like 12 points a game at Pittsburgh.
What's winning this game right now for the Beavers is their defense. Here we played 13 minutes, and USC has only 10 points in the game. And USC has the ability to put the ball in the basket, but this is pretty sticky defense by Oregon State.
I think that's really a valid point, is they are not shooting a high percentage, but it's not that they're just kind of throwing up good percentage shots that aren't going in. It's just the fact that Oregon State is just not giving them a good shot. Ratkovich now has the ball, and Stan Morrison counts on him to try to settle things down, and the Trojans right now really desperately need to settle things down. This is Ratkovich outside now. Brooks. Brooks tries to get it at the baseline to Mo Williams from behind. Johnson gets a hand on it. No foul there. Got all ball. Barry Brooks comes back out again, and now we have a 3-second violation. 6:40 remain to be played here in the first half. Charlie Sitton will inbound for the Beavers against token pressure, and now they have a chance to beat the man down as Radford gives it up in the corner to Bloom. Back to Radford and over to Connor. This is Bloom again to Sitton. Sitton works against McDonald one-on-one, tries to push off in there. Now Johnson outside about 12 feet, back out to Connor, and the Beavers will start things all over again. Beavers now playing that 1-4 kind of offensive set. Ray Bloom over to Radford. Underneath it goes to Johnson. One-on-one this time with Owens. Hooks it home.
Well, as UCLA found out the other night, when you go to your bench and you put someone in against Steve Johnson in a hurry, he's got such experience that he might burn him in a hurry. He threw a nice little hook over Owens.
The numbers on Johnson, 11 points, 5 rebounds so far. Still 5:53 remaining to be played in the first half. McDonald outside to Ratkovich, over to Anderson now. Anderson's gone all the way, has the jumper from about 12. Too long, won't go. Owens gets a hand on it, can't quite control it, but Brooks does. Brooks looks to the basket, now gives it back to Owens. Owens guarded by Radford over to Ratkovich, double team now. Underneath it goes to Anderson. Anderson works against the big guy, puts the ball right on the line, will come the other way with Oregon State.
And, of course, Oregon State not giving USC many advantages. When USC misses, Oregon State gets the rebound. They've got a superiority there, too.
Sitton inbounds for the Beavers now to Radford, over to Connor. Back to Sitton now. Sitton comes down the wing, gets it underneath to Anderson again, one-on-one, no contest. Anderson looked around and saw it was so easy that he actually forced a shot.
Yeah, they're going to call that one on Steve Johnson. That's a tough break because his timing was good. The USC players weren't, and Steve got the rebound.
I think Johnson looked around and expected to have somebody in his face, and when he didn't, he just didn't really know what to do with it.
Yeah, that's the one thing about him. Of course, that's why he leads the country in field goal percentage, set an NCAA record last year, as he very seldom misses those little cripples underneath.
Johnson sits down, and Bill McShane, number 42, comes on to replace him. This is Anderson to the ball now for the Trojans. Anderson again starts to the basket, gets cut off by Radford, and gives it up to Ratkovich at the point.
But when you watch Anderson, you can see the way he handles the ball, and with his foot speed, he can really accelerate when he wants to.
Anderson again, working against that zone defense, which has just been awesome. Underneath now, and triple teamed is Owens as soon as he gets the ball. Barry Brooks was sitting in his face, forces the shot, won't go. McShane gets a hand on it, but it's going to be out of bounds to USC.
Well,
26-10.
if our viewers ever wanted to see a really good zone defense, you're watching it right now with Oregon State.
Very, very impressed. I mean, you expect to be impressed with the #1 ranked team in the country, but I'll tell you, because that is not chopped liver they're playing out there. The Trojans managed to beat UCLA at Pauley.
Mark Radford may have twisted his ankle here. I think he's going to be able to walk it off. There's another Trojan turnover, and you can see that's therein lies the difference perhaps in the game. Radford's going to be able to rest for a while.
And William Brew comes on for him.
I started to say earlier I thought Lester Connor might be the best defensive player in the conference, but then Radford made 2 great steals, and I think Radford might be the best defensive player around.
And they don't drop off a great deal with Ray Bloom playing defense either.
No.
Awfully good basketball team. Well coached, well disciplined, take good percentage shots. They do all the kinds of things that are necessary to be a champion. Charlie sitting now on a high post, back to the basket. And the foul is going to go against Anderson.
So foul number 11, Dwight Anderson, that's his second foul.
He's shooting foul now as they get into the penalty situation here.
In the penalty.
Charlie Sitton, his parents are successful farmers and OSU graduates up in McMinnville, which is about, 30, 40 miles up the highway here in the Willamette Valley.
First shot by Sitton, in and out, no good. Rebound to Owens. It is remarkable. We have 4.5 minutes left to go here in the first half, and USC has managed 10 points.
Yeah, I know they have not scored in at least 3 minutes, and I'm pretty sure it's quite longer than that.
Anderson with the ball now, high over his head. Over to Anderson again from Ratkovich. Underneath this time, Brooks has position and wedges it in over Connor.
2 points number 14, Barry Brooks.
Come the other way, and Beavers start to burn it down, and then usually will slow up and just play a very deliberate offense. There you see the field goal percentage. USC actually shooting a higher field goal percentage than Oregon State. Find that hard to believe.
Yeah, Oregon State as a team leads the country in field goal percentage, so this is a very off first half for them.
This is Sitton again with a little turnaround jump hook, and it won't go. Rebound comes down to Barry Brooks. Brooks now starting to get into the action a little bit more. Anderson works one-on-one, now gets the free throw line, tries to force a shot over Connor. Connor gets his hands in the way again. Beautiful play by Lester Connor. Connor gets it back from Bloom, gives it up in the corner to Brew with a jumper in and out, won't go. And Brooks has it for USC. Now the Trojans come down with a 3-on-1. This is McDonald to Anderson, and Anderson can't get it to fall, but a whistle blows, and a foul is going to be called.
Yeah, they're going to...
The basket called goal.
They may give them goaltending here. Let's see if it is. Fine little pass off. Yeah, I thought it was goaltending, so it may be a 3-point play.
McShane was the guy who got his hand on the ball on its downward arc.
The basket good.
And the basket does count. So a chance for a 3-point play here for Dwight Anderson.
The foul number 42, Bill McShane.
And even though they've just got 14, and now if he makes his free throw, 15 points in the game, USC's got a chance here with just over 3 minutes left in the first half. Pick up a few more points, maybe go in trailing by 9, 10 points at halftime. They're still in it.
Well, in fact, to harken back to the game that we did at Pauley, a very similar kind of game.
Yeah. USC came out and dominated the second half.
So we have 3:12 to go, and we'll be back right after this.
It's every football fan's dream. All-American Sports Classics has gathered the greatest games in college football, regular season and bowl games alike, and assembled them in this great home video collection. Your favorite team is bound to be in the series. It's been a century in the making. Look for college football's greatest games at leading retailers, or call 800-473-7529 and order them by mail. The catalog is free, so act now.
These look very impressive.
I mentioned, in fact, Lester Connor preferring to be called Lester. He had been less at Chabot Junior College, but by his own request, he is now Lester.
Hey, there's the second tallest coach in the Pac-10, Stan Morrison. 6'7", Dick Kuchinikow. He's got 1 inch on him.
Well, the Trojans really not out of the hunt here. I would think Stan Morrison very likely had said to him, look, you get this lead under 10 points, we go in 8 or 9 down at halftime, and we're still in the ball game. This is Mark Radford. Gives it over to Lester Connor. Connor's gone all the way for Oregon State so far. Holbrook in the ball game now. And back to Radford. Radford waits for one man to go by him, then decides not to take the shot. Ray Bloom gives it to Radford again, tries to go baseline and gets it. Comes up underneath, but it won't go. McShane with a rebound. It won't go. And we're going to have a jump ball. Owens and McShane.
That's a lot of muscle under there.
2 minutes, 52 seconds remaining to be played here in the first half. The turnovers really have been the story. USC has coughed the ball up on 12 occasions. And the steals, as you see, Oregon State with 6 steals. They average 8.7 per game. Dwight Anderson now in the corner, back out to Ratkovich. Trojans trying to be patient now. Get it over to McDonald here. Oregon State back in a man-to-man defense now. Dwight Anderson. Guarded by Ray Bloom. Bloom plays through the screen of McDonald. McDonald underneath to Anderson. Anderson takes a dribble, puts it on the floor, and he gets called for the foul.
That's a big play in this game. That's his 3rd personal foul. He had the shot in front of the basket, but he just didn't feel, I guess, he had ball control yet.
That one really hurts. 3 fouls on Dwight Anderson, and Anderson is a guy that Stan Morrison is going to really have to begin to turn to because of the loss of Purvis Miller. He's got to get somebody to put the ball in the hole.
Yeah, especially if they're going to pull any kind of upset here this afternoon, the second half. He's going to have a big half. That's going to be tough to do with 3 fouls.
So they had a chance to cut the lead to 9. Gave it up on what looked to be a cripple shot. And would come the other way with Oregon State now. They can increase it to 13. This is Holbrook over to Connor. Connor looks for the shot, now takes it. Has a nice little fall-away shot, very reminiscent of Oscar Robertson's kind of shot. It won't go. Ratkovich has it now for SC. Over to Jock Hill. Hill to Ratkovich. Ratkovich holds up 5 fingers. Over to McDonald now, guarded by Holbrook. This is Owens to Ratkovich. Ratkovich got up by the big man, so there has to be a mismatch someplace, but Trojans don't pick it up and can't backdoor anybody. This is Jock Hill again. Hill guarded by Connor. Tries to arm his way in, and Radford kicks him clean, but Hill comes right back and gets it. Ratkovich takes the jumper and has it.
Oh, wonderful play by Ratkovich after Radford made about his 9,000th steal of the game.
They are very, very quick-handed on defense. Can't say enough superlatives about this Oregon State team, even though it is only a 9-point ball game. It is not out of reach yet by any stretch of the imagination. We got a whistle. Blocking foul is called against Holbrook. And we're going to come the other way. And believe it or not, folks, SC can cut it to 7. It really is, and you hate to say this, it really is reminiscent of the game that we did at college.
Yeah. And, of course, USC pulled off that big upset by playing so well in the second half. Well, we'll see.
Owens has really done a job. As you look at Stan Morrison, Owens has really managed to, if nothing else, clog up the middle enough to give some of his teammates a chance to maneuver a little bit. He's a big guy. Owens still learning the system. He was not even allowed to practice with the Trojans. Anderson at least could practice with the team. Owens could not. So really, this is only, for all intent, his 3rd outing, including practices. Second one won't go. 26-18 ball game now. Ray Bloom with the ball over to Radford. Radford guarded by Ratkovich. Stan Morrison right now has a combination that seems to be effective. Radford tries to go baseline on Ratkovich, and Ratkovich is going to be called for the foul. Here's another score from around the country. Kentucky, the number 2 ranked team in the country, beating Georgia, but only by 3, 71-68. Closer game than I would have anticipated, man.
Well, 2 overtimes. That was at Georgia, and of course in any basketball conference that means an awful lot where the game is played. I think we should, in fairness to Oregon State here, Ralph Miller has done a lot of substituting here in the first half. He's got a lot of fine players on the bench right now that maybe if they were in the game they'd have a slightly larger lead.
Jeff Stout, kind of a designated shooter for the Beavers in the ball game now, number 51. He could put it up and doesn't hesitate to do so. One of the few Beavers who does not hesitate to do so. Jock Hill with the ball. And a whistle blows, and Mo Williams is going to be whistled for another needless foul. 3rd foul on him, so Anderson and Williams each with 3 personal fouls.
I was just about to say Stan Morrison doesn't like gimmicks. He likes to come at you and play hard, but I might have, if I was SC, just gone for the last shot right there and hope that you get a down by 6 at halftime, and at the worst you'd be down by 8.
That puts Ray Bloom to the line now. 1-1. Bloom an 80% free throw shooter, so you don't really want to see him get to the free throw line very much. First one is up and no good. And the rebound, and nobody blocked out that time. I'm sure Stan's going to have something to say about that. Jock Hill comes the other way anyway for USC. They did manage to come out with it. Pass goes over in the corner to McDonald now. Back out to Jock Hill, and Lynn, I think now it looks as though they might play for the last shot. 42 seconds remaining here.
Well, Oregon State helped USC by missing the front end and 1-and-1 2 times in a row.
There again, reminiscent of the game in Pauley. Hate to keep harkening back to that, but you might recall UCLA being unable to get its free throws down at the end of the game. Barry Brooks with the ball, now Radkovich. Radkovich started by Bloom, 22 seconds remaining here in the first half. 8-point ball game, 26-18. Jock Hill again, guarded by Radford. Underneath it goes to Barry Brooks. Turnaround, lean-in jumper. And a foul is going to go against Jeff Stout. First personal against Stout. That's one of those either-way fouls because Brooks did lean in.
Yeah, USC will take that. They like the idea of Brooks going to the free throw line. That was a tough one to call. Officials will tell you the toughest call in basketball is the charge block, and that was an example of trying to decide which way to call that.
Barry Brooks, first of 2. Is up and good.
Brooks is a good, steady senior, and I think it was a smart move for him to take the shot down there.
So the Trojans, Lynn, have made the last 10 points here, and they have really gotten right back in it. Jump shot, not a really good percentage shot by Radford. Owens comes down with a rebound, and we come to the end of the first half, and this is still very, very much a ballgame. We had a foul called, and USC is going to have an opportunity to cut this lead to 4 points now. So even though the clock has run out completely, we had a foul on the rebound, and that will send Mike Owens to the line.
He's got to be scared to death. Remember, he's just starting here at USC. It's first outing here, hasn't practiced much, and he's got to shoot this in front of 10,000 fans that don't want him to make it.
That's true. That's got to give you the yips, I'll tell you. They back some of the Beavers off now who are standing around. There will be no rebound here. Either makes it or he misses it. It's that simple. So they'll either go in 6 points down, 5 points down, or 4 points down. Owen's shot is up and good.
Hey,
nothing but net.
Yeah, he looked pretty confident on that.
26-21 ball game. Second shot is up, a little bit short. So we come to the end of the first half, and it is anybody's ball game. The Trojans are fired up. They trail it at the half, but just 26-21. First half, and it is anybody's ball game. The Trojans are fired up. They trail it at the half, but just 26-21.
Here's the most unique home video available for the sports fan, and a collector's item for the avid golf fan. Great players, great shots, unbelievable action. It's chock full of the most amazing shots ever, from the ridiculous to the sublime. You have to have this video. Get golf's greatest hits at Herman's World of Sports and other leading retailers, or call 800-473-7529. Golf's greatest hits, go get it now.
Crowd here could also be a big factor. 31st straight sellout, 10,098 they're listing it out today.
Well, I'm quite sure Ralph Miller at halftime just said, settle down, play your game, and things will come around. 26-21 ball game. It's been a dearth for Oregon State. 6 minutes, 11 seconds without a basket. Ray Bloom with only 2 points in the first half. He averages 10 points a game. Radford also only had 2 points in the first half, and he averages 14 points a game, so they are not getting a lot of help out of their backcourt. This is Ray Bloom now. Over to Sitton. Charlie Sitton. Spent a lot of time on the bench in the first half. Up with a nice soft jumper. And the Beavers get on the board right quick. Just 23 seconds into this second half. 28-21 ball game. This is Dwight Anderson playing with 3 fouls. Guarded by Lester Connor. Had a very impressive first half. Mo Williams also with 3 fouls. Underneath it goes to Barry Brooks. Tries to force it in against Johnson. Then gives it up to Anderson. Back out at the point to Jock Hill. The crowd exhorting his team to play defense here. Mo Williams underneath to Owens with a jumper. And has it.
I don't think you can say enough about the tough job he has had to do just coming into this game and playing. First time here in the building, and he was so impressive in the first half that Stan Morrison's going to start him here in the second half.
Charlie Sitton with the ball. Now, he had only played about 25 seconds coming into this game. Up with a jump shot. 29-23. Take a 30-23 ball game. A 7-point lead for Oregon State. Traveling violation called on Jock Hill, and now Oregon State has a chance to kind of take control of this ball game back. Minute and 10 seconds in, you look at a halftime score. Illinois out ahead of Iowa. Iowa ranked 12th in the country, and Illinois leads them by 7. Big Ten Conference this year, everybody's knocking everybody else off.
Yeah, Illinois is not bad. They've been down a few years.
30-23 is the score here. 7-point lead. Radford with the ball over to Charlie Sitton. Looks to Johnson back door, but Sitton takes that jump shot. Didn't see Johnson. Johnson went back door on Owens. Whistle blows, but a foul is going to be called, I believe, against Owens, number 42.
There again, Steve Johnson really just muscled with great position, and that caused Owens just to be able to tip the ball, and he did foul. Great positioning, though, on the shot by big Steve Johnson. Wow, what a force.
Steve Johnson, really, he uses his rear end really very well. He gets people out of position. That's what Stan Morrison was saying is the real fear of his. 3-on-2 right now for the Trojans, and they turn it over. No, they don't turn it over. Beg your pardon. Lester Connor got a hand there, punched it out of bounds off of Anderson.
Connor's scary. I mean, he is all over the court. You never get the ball up the court too easily whenever he's near the ball.
And they had a 3-on-2 with a possibility of a fast break there. Anderson again looks to Brooks inside. Back out to Ratkovich, going with him to start the second half. He had a very settling effect on this team. It didn't look like anybody was taking charge for a long time. When Ratkovich came in, the team settled down a little bit. Ratkovich with the opportunity jumper and has it.
He's a pure shooter. He can hit that shot. And they're going to have to hit a few of those outside shots against the Beaver zone.
30-25 ball game. This is Radford.
Now, don't lean.
Radford guarded by Ratkovich now. Johnson and Owens really having a muscling match inside. This is Johnson. Has position on Owens. Leans in. Won't go. Anderson with the board. And the Trojans can cut it to 3 here. Anderson with 5 points in the first half. Mo Williams at the point now, swings it around for Ratkovich, starts about the jumper, now gives it up to Brooks. Brooks takes a shot from the corner. Owens is there for the rebound, but came down with it. Probably should have gone right back up with it instead of coming down.
I think he wanted to, and he hesitated, and by the time he hesitated, he couldn't do it. The play was a great block by Sitton, and then Owens compounded his mistake there by fouling on the play. But Charlie Sitton's a real force. He was what you would call a power-type forward, and when Steve Johnson's out of position underneath, Sitton can almost be like a defensive center under there.
Well, Owens will sit down and think about that for a little bit. Stan Morrison right in front of him saying it's all right, that's just a mistake. 5-point ball game, 30-25. Johnson now plays against McDonald, and they double-team him every time. Sitton with the opportunity, jump shot from the free-throw line, has it. Every time they collapse on Johnson, Sitton is right at the free-throw line, has a nice soft touch on that jump shot, and puts it down for a 32-25 Oregon State lead. In the corner, Mo Williams takes the jumper and has it. So SC now starting to get it down from outside. 5-point ball game again. SC not letting Oregon State get away from them. Radford with the ball, guarded by Ratkovich. McDonald now fronting Johnson. And Johnson tries to take the baseline, leans in and has it. Tough shot that time by Steve Johnson.
Yeah, he did a great job. He didn't make an offensive foul. He took his time on the shot, and he got it in.
6 of 12 from the floor for Johnson. This is Anderson. Anderson thinks about it and decides not to try to penetrate against Radford. McDonald outside. He was scoreless in the first half. Ratkovich over to Williams. SC passing the ball very crisply now to Brooks. Back out to Anderson. Anderson to Ratkovich. Ratkovich at the top. Anderson. Anderson over here to McDonald, guarded by Sitton right now. Back out to Ratkovich. Beavers in the zone defense now. Anderson against Connor, gets a hand on the ball again. Quick hands for Lester Connor. Out it goes to Ratkovich, takes the shot at the top of the key, won't go, off the right side. Rebound comes down to Bloom, Bloom to Radford. Radford over Sitton. Sitton gets picked clean this time by Ratkovich. Ratkovich to Williams. Williams runs into a man, and let's see who we got.
Oh, that's a tough break. He's going to call it offensive, and that's going to be 4 fouls on Mo Williams. I might have called that the other way. I don't think Bloom had such great position. I think he was turned a little bit sideways.
SC bench not at all happy about that turn of events. That really could be a costly foul for Southern California, as now Stan Morrison is going to have to go with Ron Holmes, an inexperienced forward, and he's going to have to sit Mo Williams down. Williams, a guy who can put the ball in the hole and is not hesitant to put it up.
Ralph Miller, he's got over 500 wins. And Stan Morrison in his second year at USC, coached at UOP previously.
7-point ball game at 34-27. 16 minutes remaining to be played here in the ball game. Oregon State leads it. They have led it right from the get-go. Radford is sitting underneath and getting a hand on the ball. That time is Barry Brooks. Ratkovich tries to dribble between 2 people. Johnson stopped. Once again, it is the Oregon State defense that is really making all the difference in this game. Oregon State may only be shooting 38%, Once again, Radford almost steps in front and draws a charge, but not quite that time. Anderson with the ball now. It's a 9-point lead for Oregon State at 36-27. This is Radkovich. Looks to Brooks, thinks better of it. Inside to McDonald now. McDonald works against Sitton. Baseline to Holmes. Holmes tries a left hand behind the back kind of shot, and it won't go. This is Connor. Connor cut off by Radkovich to Radford. Over to Sitton. Sitton will take that shot. Won't go this time. A little bit long, but it comes right back to Sitton. Underneath to Johnson. Turnaround has it.
I think USC needs a timeout. The crowd's going to really get excited here.
Well, Oregon State playing that swarming kind of defense once again now. Radkovich with the ball. Inside to McDonald. Once more, Connor gets a hand on it. And I'm going to give you an assist on that one, Lynn.
Good passing by Oregon State. They got the ball to Steve Johnson for that last basket. He put it in quickly, and he did a good job because he didn't hang on the rim. Very tempting for a player to do.
Stan Morrison asked for a timeout. Oregon State leads at 38-27. We're coming back.
Here's the sports video collection that you've been waiting for. All-American Sports Classics. These are the greatest sporting events of the century. Now included in collectible home videos. The greatest players, the greatest plays, the greatest games. Look for All-America Sports Classics at Camelot and other leading retailers. Or call 800-473-7529 and order them by mail. The catalog is free. Go get them now.
Well, here's a number I think is interesting, too. We talked about shooting percentage so far in the second half, 67% for Oregon State. I want to take this opportunity to thank Hal Cowan, the sports information director here at Oregon State, for all of his help. Old friend, guy been around a long time.
Well, that's not. Is that a compliment?
I think that's a compliment.
Yeah, he's a veteran. He's a good one.
After suffering through that football season he suffered through, he deserves a little luck in basketball, I'll tell you. Anderson with the ball now. 11-point ball game. This is Holmes. Takes the jumper and has it.
The basket number 32.
That's why I thought USC needed that timeout, and I was glad to see them take that. They needed to regroup, get the crowd quieted down a bit.
And a foul is called against Barry Brooks here. Second personal foul on Barry Brooks.
The foul number 14, Barry Brooks.
13 foul in the second half for USC. Oregon State yet to commit a foul.
When you're out there playing, normally you just have to watch for the guards to penetrate and show their speed. But against Oregon State, they got a forward. Lester Connor's got that speed, and you got to be awake for him all the time.
Well, Ron Holmes, the freshman from El Toro, jumps in front of that pass, and SC now comes back with a chance to cut the Oregon State lead to 7 points. Holmes in the corner, guarded by Stinson. This is Radkovich. Radkovich over to Anderson. Inside it goes to Holmes again. Holmes pump fake, has a shot, in and out, won't go. Johnson rebound. 8th rebound of the game for Johnson. 17 points so far for him. Definitely the most dominant player on the floor, without question. Radford with the ball now, guarded by Radkovich. And Connor, as Brooks tries to step in front, can't quite do it. Connor thinks about taking it to the hoop, decides better of it, and Holmes steps in front of a pass to Johnson. Holmes has been a factor since he's been in the ball game now. This is Radkovich up top. 9-point ball game. Oregon State leads it 38-29. They've never trailed. Jump shot tried by McDonald. Won't go. And the rebound comes down to the hands of Lester Connor. This is Ray Bloom, number 22, across the timeline over to Charlie Sitton. Sitton works against Holmes. Looks inside. Thinks better. Goes to Bloom. Bloom to Connor. Swinging around to Radford. Whistle blows. Blocking foul called on Johnson.
In the game for the Beavers, number 43.
Johnson's done a good job, though, in this his senior year of keeping himself out of foul trouble for the most part. It was a problem that plagued him earlier. Ralph Miller, not too unhappy at this point in the game.
He's a rather impassive fellow. Got a lot of talent on this team, and he knows it. He says, before the game, he said, we have 2 plays, he said, and it's the job of the other team to just try and stop us. And Vince Lombardi was the last person to resort that kind of theory. It worked pretty well for him, and it's worked pretty well for Ralph Miller so far this year. Alley-oop pass for Holmes. From Anderson, won't go. Good idea, bad execution.
John Wooden always said it, the more offenses or defenses you play, the greater the chance of not playing any of them well.
Well, Miller, I would guess, is pretty much of the John Wooden school, at least in being sort of professorial about this business of coaching college athletes. And he said the less you give a kid to think about during a game, the better it is. You just want it to be reflex by the time you get into the game. So if you can repeat and repeat and repeat just 2 basic plays, by the time you get in the game, it just becomes reflex action.
Yeah, if you watch these Beavers, you'll just see some good passing now. There it is right there.
Cross-court pass. Connor in and out won't go. Rebound Johnson. We'll pause 5 seconds for station identification. This is the NBC television network. Lester Connor once more gets a hand in the way of a Ratkovich pass. Cannot say enough about Lester Connor.
Whoever he is guarding, I would keep the ball away from. I would let someone else bring the ball up the court. In fact, Dwight Anderson's probably done about as good a job as any. He seems pretty confident in bringing it up.
40-29 ball game now, and you can see now Oregon State is double teaming the ball. Connor and Bloom work on Anderson. Now back out to Holmes. Holmes to Owens. Thinks about it. Now takes it with the right hand and has it.
Number 42, Mike Owens.
Very, very impressive, Mike Owens this afternoon.
Really is. It played a little bit tentatively, but you know that's going to go away in just a matter of 1 or 2 more games.
That doesn't happen often. A turnover by Steve Johnson. Owens, by the way, is a transfer from Penn State.
Penn State, I believe I said Pittsburgh earlier in the broadcast. It is, in fact, Penn State. And there is a timeout. It is a 40-31 ball game, and we'll be coming back to Gill Coliseum right after this.
It's every basketball fan's dream. All-American Sports Classics presents the greatest basketball games ever played. Regular season, tournament, NIT, even the Final Four. Incredible stars, amazing action. Look for college basketball's greatest games at leading retailers or call 800-473-7529. The catalog's free. College basketball's greatest games. Go get them now.
The score also number 2, an undefeated Virginia, number 2 at UPI, number 1 tied with Oregon State in the AP poll. An easy winner today, 68-47.
Virginia's got a big game at North Carolina on Tuesday.
Oregon State, oddly enough, has turned the ball over 11 times so far today. USC 19 times. Anderson wants a foul on that, doesn't get it. 9-point game, 40-31. USC has not really let Oregon State go away too far. They've not been any closer than 5. That came right at the end of the first half. Trying to get the pass inside to Williams. That's going to be the 4th foul on Steve Johnson, and that could be a factor.
Yeah, that'll change the complexion of this game perhaps in a big hurry. Johnson comes out of there. USC now can go inside, maybe.
And Johnson will leave. McShane will come on. Johnson leaves with 19 points, 9 rebounds, and the big number right now, 4 personal fouls. USC tries to hit the cutter. Jock Hill hits him, but a little too late for him to take the shot up to the point. Once more, Lester Connor gets a hand in, but Owens is there to recover. Brooks, top of the circle now to Anderson, and back to Jock Hill. Trojans playing very patiently here. They have Owens on a high post. Hill tries to go back door, can't quite do it, gets cut off. Anderson thinks about the shot, now takes the jumper from the free throw line and has it. Fine play that time for Dwight Anderson.
There's so much potential there in Anderson offensively. It's scary. What a quick first step.
40-33 ball game now. Trojans just not letting Oregon State get away. McShane fouled by Owens. Knew it as soon as he got his arm up over his shoulder.
Well, you want him being aggressive when he's guarding Steve Johnson, but you don't want him making that foul. That's probably just chalk it up to rustiness.
All right, coming up.
Lester Connor to inbounds now to Holbrook, back over to Radford. Radford takes it up to the point, not quite to the point. Now back to Lester Connor, guarded right now by Barry Brooks. Over to Holbrook. Holbrook to Radford. Radford takes the jump shot and has it. Only 4 points for Radford so far today. He's been averaging 14 points a game. Team fouls. USC right now with 5. Oregon State with 2. That can be a factor as we go on. Barry Brooks that time working between Bloom and Connor to bring the ball up. Anderson turnaround, jump shot, short. Rebound comes down in the hands of Connor. Connor just seems to be all over the court. Outlet pass to McShane as Oregon State tries to run for one of the first times. Here is Radford again with a shot. Won't go. Holbrook there for the rebound. McShane gets a hand on it. Tries to save it. Can't do it. And it'll be inbound to USC.
McShane, I'm not sure if he thought a player was there previously and he was throwing to it, or he saw the out of the corner of his eye the referee and thought it might have been a player. He threw it definitely towards the referee.
42-33 ball game, halfway now through the second half. Dwight Anderson with the ball. Anderson over to Jock Hill. Hill guarded by Bloom now as Oregon State goes back to a man-to-man defense. Mo Williams back in the ball game now, playing with 4 fouls. This is Anderson again. Anderson tries to take the baseline, but Radford cuts him off. Back out to the point now to Hill. Gets that quick first step and gets in some heavy cotton there. And now we're going to have a jump ball between Anderson and McShane. That's going to be a mismatch. And now they call it a traveling violation against USC.
So Oregon State, certainly a contrast to Thursday night when they played their best game of the year. Cold and shooting this afternoon. Radford, the man with the ball, is only 2 for 9.
And that time McShane gets whistled for an elbowing foul on Anderson. Anderson tried to get by him, had to literally push him out of the way, and got kind of a late call, but did get the call. Charlie Sitton now comes on for McShane. Sitton very likely now will play the pivot as McShane leaves, and the top 2 centers for Oregon State both on the bench right now. Jock Hill with the ball for USC. 9-point ball game for Oregon State. 42-33. 9:23 remain to be played in the ball game. Underneath it goes to Owens. Owens works against Sitton, tries to force the shot up. Whistle blows. Foul's going to be called, I believe, against Charlie Sitton. Second personal foul on Sitton. Take another look.
I think they're going to call Rick Holbrook for reaching in there. Sitton maybe got his hand on the ball, could have been called for it as well, but they did call it on Holbrook.
Is called on Holbrook, that's right.
Rob Holbrook.
Charlie Sitton. And Owens gets one that bangs around a couple times and falls through. They all look the same in the scorebook. One of those 3 cushion free throws.
Yeah, Owens will tell you he planned it that way.
That's right. He's played a very good game here. USC with a lot of potential, really, on their team. Owens has the second one, and it's a 7-point ball game at 42-35. Radford with the ball now. Radford in the midst of the cold shooting night, 2 of 9. Lester Connor with the ball. Connor to Holbrook. Holbrook looks over here, swings it over for Bloom. Back out to Connor now. Connor says, set it up, set it up. Gives it to Bloom. Bloom to Holbrook again. That little set shot is over and off. No good. Rebound batted around, and it's going to be inbound to USC. They say Radford was the last man to touch it.
In case you're just tuning in, wondering where Purvis Miller is, he was thrown off the team yesterday, so he is not here. And I think you got to give the Trojans a lot of credit for regrouping here against the #1 team. Losing to Oregon Thursday night, they could have thrown in the towel.
Absolutely so. Anderson, nice soft jump shot, but can't get it to fall. And Owens gets a hand on the rebound, but it goes out of bounds to Oregon State. Anderson very unhappy with himself.
Well, you got a kid that averages 38 points a game in high school. He went to Kentucky as the second leading scorer there for a couple years before he quit. Don't worry, he can make that shot 9 times out of 10 when he gets his composure out there and gets settled down. You can just see the potential.
Dan Morrison said right now he's just playing, he's trying so hard to please, he's playing a little bit tight. And I think you can see that a little bit in this game, although he has had his moments. This is Radford, forces the shot, won't go, rebound Mo Williams. Quick outlet pass to Jock Hill as the Trojans try to run now. Hill takes it all the way down, good penetration, gives it to Anderson, tries a scoop shot, and travels.
Coming in for Oregon State, number 34, William Brew, replacing Mark Radford.
William Brew comes on now, replacing Radford for Oregon State. 42-35 ball game, 21st turnover of the afternoon for USC. But opponents of Oregon State have been averaging 20 turnovers, so it's no worse than the norm. Holbrook with the ball now over to Bloom. Bloom also has not really been a factor today. Trojans have managed to contain him pretty good. Lester Connor, he's been a major factor. Fine block that time by Owens. Owens pins the ball on its way up, perfectly legal. Anderson takes the shot, too hard, won't go. Anderson having all kinds of troubles with his shooting touch right now. Here's Bloom, 3-on-2, and Holbrook takes the shot, won't go. Rebound again to Owens.
And without Steve Johnson, Oregon State's a little rattled right now, so Ralph Miller's got that tough decision. When does he bring Steve Johnson back? He's got 4 fouls.
Stan Morrison asked for a timeout. Dwight Anderson, I think Stan's going to have to get Dwight Anderson just to settle down. Yeah. He has had a couple of shots that you would think were good percentage shots and missed them both. So it's a 42-35 game, and we'll be back to Gill Coliseum.
It's every football fan's dream. All-American Sports Classics has gathered the greatest games in college football, regular season and bowl games alike, and assembled them in this great home video collection. Your favorite team is bound to be in the series. It's been a century in the making. Look for college football's greatest games at leading retailers, or call 800-473-7529 and order them by mail. The catalog is free, so act now.
One important statistic, second half, USC has 21 turnovers in the game, but only 5 of them in the second half. I just said to Hal Cowan during timeout, it's time to bring Steve Johnson back in. Ralph Miller agrees. There he is, but he's got 4 fouls.
So it'll be interesting to see what kind of offensive tactics SC does if they try to force the ball inside and get that 5th foul on Steve Johnson. Oregon State has not been the same team without him in the lineup. It is a 5-point ball game, 42-37. SC has just been dogged. They have not played brilliantly, but they've stayed close enough. And Johnson on the floor playing very aggressively with 4 fouls. The Trojans try to tie him up, and Cantney gets the outlet pass to Mark Fitton. The crowd comes alive.
Yeah, they like that, and they should. That was a fine play by Johnson. Didn't pass until he knew he had the open man.
Barry Brooks goes for the ball, and now William Brew takes it to the hoop, and he is called for the foul. Getting position that time was Jock Hill. 3rd foul on William Brew. Radford comes back on. Brew sits down. 4th 15 foul for Oregon State.
Well, USC, we've had them. This is the 2nd time on our Saturday afternoon game. They give us an entertaining contest both times.
They really have. And in fact, again, we've said it several times, but it's almost a carbon copy. SC was not ahead of UCLA very much at all, if ever. I don't remember if they were really ahead in that ballgame at all before they went ahead at the buzzer.
Yeah, at the very end they went ahead, and that was it.
That was the one that counted. If you got to be ahead only once, make it at the buzzer. 5-point game now. SC with a chance to cut it to 3. Owens has been a big factor in the middle. This is Jock Hill over to Mo Williams. Williams in the corner. Man-to-man defense now played. There's the inside pass to Owens. Works, though, against Sitton. Not against Johnson. Remember, Steve Johnson playing with 4 fouls. He has been the dominant player in the game so far. Jock Hill to Anderson. Anderson starts to go to the hoop. Decides better of it. Now goes to the corner to Williams. Takes the quick jump shot. Won't go off the back rim. And leaning in for the rebound, Lester Connor.
I think we've overlooked that part of his game today. He's an excellent rebounder.
This is Charlie Sitton. SC with a chance to cut it to 3, couldn't do it. Now the Beavers have it. Coming the other way. Sitton over to Radford now. Beavers very patient. They will wait for the good shot, especially when Johnson is in the lineup. He has very much of a settling effect on this team. This is Sitton again. Sitton guarded by Mo Williams. Over to Lester Connor. Tries the baseline against Brooks. Now gets triple team. Forces the shot. And a foul is called over the shoulder against Mo Williams. That is going to be his 5th.
Mo doesn't like the call, but with 4 fouls, he should have never been near the ball. He shouldn't have been reaching in there. Maybe he made the block, maybe he didn't, but you're going to get the call when you're going to make that kind of play.
So a very, very costly foul now. Mo Williams has to sit down with his 5th foul. And that will bring about the presence of James McDonald. Williams only had 4 points in this ballgame and only 2 rebounds. So he has had a tough game all the way around.
Yeah, it's not the real Mo Williams that we have seen the past few weeks. The 2nd leading scorer on the team and, of course, the leading rebounder.
Ralph Miller making a couple of substitutions also. Rob Holbrook coming back on. Or about to come back on, and now he does. Lester Connor really has been a major factor in this game, too. We keep talking about it, what fast hands he has, and I think your point is very well taken about the fact that he's been on the boards. Hasn't scored a lot of points, but he's really been, he and Steve Johnson have really been the people that have kept Oregon State in the hunt so far today. More than in the hunt, of course, in the lead. And it's Connor who goes to the free throw line. First one is up, no good, too long. Connor has 6 points, he has 5 rebounds, and has forced countless turnovers.
OSU has also hurt themselves a little bit in this game by not being able to make their free throws very well. They shoot 67% as a team on the season. That's not really that good.
Connor's 2nd shot is up and good. In fact, their free throw percentage is not a whole lot better than their percentage from the floor.
No.
Jock Hill with the ball now, and they will clear out for him and let him work one-on-one. Now he gets trapped, and he's in trouble. Finally gets it across court to McDonald. And this is Anderson now. 4 minutes, 35 seconds remaining to be played in the ball game. It's a 43-37 ball game. Alley-oop, and getting up in front of it is Charlie Sitton. Trojans have tried that twice. They have failed twice.
There's an alert freshman in Charlie Sitton. That was a fine play.
He's another guy that has improved with every game. McDonald is whistled for the foul on Sitton this time.
The foul number 33, James McDonald, his 3rd foul, team foul number 7, now in the bonus.
7th foul, and that'll put Sitton to the free throw line.
Charlie Sitton, they say he reminds a lot of people of Dave Myers, who played at UCLA a few years ago, all arms and legs out there. That he does. Facially, he reminds me of a teammate I had at UCLA somewhat, Neville Sainer. Didn't play much, but was a fine player.
Sitton free throw is in and out and in. That was a big one. That was a big one. 7-point lead now for Oregon State, 44-37. Sitton's second try is up and good. So Sitton making both free throws and gives Oregon State an 8-point lead now. And now the onus goes right back on USC. They have 4 minutes and 14 seconds in which to get themselves back in the hunt here. They had an opportunity not too long ago to cut the lead to 3 points. Could not do it. Missed on 2 chances. And now it's an 8-point lead for Oregon State. This is Anderson. Remember, Johnson playing with 4 fouls. Not quite as much of a factor now as it was a couple of minutes ago. Anderson again. Anderson takes the quick jump shot. He does get up on top of that jump shot. McDonald starts to get the rebound, and credit Lester Connor with that one.
Good observation there, Barry. He sure did. He should have given him credit for a steal there, actually.
He is really an impressive player. Impressive team. I mean, this is a team, they're not playing their best today, needless to say, and I think the letdown that we talked about definitely is there. But boy, you can sure see the makings of a great team here. They play great defense, and they have played great defense today. That's what's gotten them as far as they are so far. Connor with the ball again. Looks to the basket, decides better of it. Gives it up to Sitton now. Sitton guarded by McDonald. Back to Radford. 10 steals for Oregon State. And I would say probably 80% of those have come off the hands of Lester Connor.
This is where the Beavers are pretty good at this stage. They're a fine passing team.
Hook shot by Johnson is good. 21 points now for Steve Johnson, 47-37. And now the Beavers can breathe a little bit easier with 2:45 remaining to be played as Lee wants a timeout. So what do you do now? If you are Stan Morrison, you got to say, let's just get it together, throw the ball up, hope it goes down. Oregon State leads it 47-37, 2 minutes, 45 seconds remain.
Here's the most unique home video available for the sports fan, and a collector's item for the avid golf fan. Great players, great shots, unbelievable action. It's chock full of the most amazing shots ever, from the ridiculous to the sublime. You have to have this video. Get golf's greatest hits at Herman's World of Sports and other leading retailers, or call 800-473-7529. Golf's greatest hits, go get it now.
Even though there's over 2.5 minutes to play in the game, Barry and I have voted, and along with our co-producer Ken Shapiro, feel that this man, Steve Johnson, is our Chevrolet MVP. They will donate $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of OSU. This money will be used to assist students in furthering their chosen academic fields of interest. He's got 21 points, 9 rebounds, and it was a different team when he was out of there.
We had a mail-in vote from our producer, Phil Olsman. He wrote us Tuesday, said pick Steve Johnson. 47-37 ball game. Anderson goes to the basket, cuts the lead to 8 points. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remain in the ball game. Ray Bloom with the ball now. Over to Lester Connor. Connor, a very big factor in this basketball game also. Connor takes it from the hoop and scores. Steve Johnson, the pass from Lester Connor. Connor gets the assist. Johnson gets the basket. I had an official directly in my line of sight. This is Barry Brooks with the ball. 49-39 ball game. You've got to say something for a defense that holds any opponent with only 2 minutes to play in the ball game under 40 points. And without using slowdown tactics. This is Anderson. Anderson gets it inside to Barry Brooks. He's triple teamed, still forces the shot up and in.
Number 14, Barry Brooks.
49-41 ball game. Charlie Sitton with the ball. Sitton with 8 points and 5 boards. Backs it up to Radford now. Radford hustles it across the timeline. In the corner it goes to Ray Bloom. And Bloom gets it out top to Sitton again. Sitton way out at the point to Lester Connor. Over to Radford. Now the Beavers will play keep away from USC. High post give and go. Bloom has the basket.
They love it. They love that backdoor play, and the crowd loves it. They've seen it so often here.
Only the 4th point of the afternoon for Ray Bloom, but it was 2 points that brought this crowd to its feet. Radkovich in the ballgame now. Inside it goes to McDonald. McDonald is hammered underneath by McShane, or rather by Sitton. Sitton not too happy about it. Sitton plays this game with an awful lot of energy.
Yeah, he's real emotional out there, and I thought he had a pretty good block. Let's see it again.
Oh, yes. Never saw him get it with the body. If he might have slapped him.
You can see why he would be unhappy with the call.
So McDonald at the line.
This game is a perfect example, Barry, of why you should play tough defense. You're going to have afternoons where you don't shoot well, and you're off offensively. But if you play tough defense, you never have a bad day.
Well put. I think that's really the story of this Oregon State team. And Southern California has called for another timeout. Trojans trailing by 9 points here. There is 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining to be played here in the basketball game. And again, we have talked about Steve Johnson a great deal, Lynn, but Lester Connor is a guy who is only going to get better.
Yeah, he's a junior college transfer from Chabot JC down in California, and he was co-MVP at the JC level last year in the state.
The thing is, they do have so much talent. As we look to next week's game, where Lynn Shackelford and I will be down at Tempe, Arizona, the number 7 ranked Arizona State Sun Devils against Washington State. We'll look forward to that one, 3 o'clock. And we'll be back with more from Gill Coliseum, 51-42 game right after this.
Here's the sports video collection that you've been waiting for. All-American Sports Classics. These are the greatest sporting events of the century. Now included in collectible home videos. The greatest players, the greatest plays, the greatest games. Look for All-America Sports Classics at Camelot and other leading retailers. Or call 800-473-7529 and order them by mail. The catalog is free. Go get them now.
Well, we are back at Gill Coliseum with just 1 minute and 11 seconds of basketball left to be played here. Oregon State leads it by 9 at 51-42. Might not have been a symphony for the Beavers, but nonetheless, they have managed to get the job done with a very, very efficient defense.
The man that's going to be going to the free throw line, Mark Radford's an unusual story in that he has started every single game he has played here at Oregon State.
This is his 102nd consecutive start.
One of the 3 Oregonians in the starting lineup, and I guess you could say this is the team basically made up of Oregon basketball players. Of course, Connor and Johnson in the starting lineup are from California.
5 points for Radford, and can't get the 6th to fall, but Johnson is there for a rebound, and a grab foul is called against McDonald, I believe. If you look at the people that have helped put this broadcast on the air from Gill Coliseum. Johnson's second try is up and good, 53-42. For Steve Johnson, 24 points. He has 9 rebounds. He had 27 points against UCLA the other night. Looking to break a national record for field goal percentage. He went into this game shooting 67.4%. This is Radkovich with the ball. Again, tries to force his way between 2 defenders. There's Connor again, fast handing it away, and a grab foul is called on Radkovich. Lester Connor is very impressive to me, I got to tell you.
Ralph Miller, when he recruits basketball players, doesn't always look for the glamour superstar. Yes, he did get Charlie Sitton, who is probably the best player to ever come out of the state of Oregon. But he looks for players that can pass. He loves to see players that can pass the ball well. And he looks for players that like to play tough defense. And he figures he can teach the rest.
That's what he said. He said the 2 most important ingredients are the ability to pass the ball as Johnson comes away with a shot. Ability to pass the ball and ability to play defense. He said almost everybody who plays a game of basketball can put the ball in the hole if they're given enough time to do it.
Johnson did there, but they're going to call him for an offensive foul, and they're not going to allow the basket. Johnson's quite bewildered about the whole thing. It's not going to make any difference, I don't think, with 40 seconds to go and an 11-point lead. It'll be the 4th game, and this is the 17th game for the Beavers that he's fouled out of.
Well, he fouls out with only 40 seconds remaining to be played, and the Beavers enjoying an 11-point lead even with the disallowing of that basket. man on to replace him is Ray Bloom, so that will mean Charlie Sitton likely will play the pivot. They have Holbrook, Radford, and Bloom in the backcourt, and Connor. And this is Dwight Anderson. Anderson has 9 points tonight. Shot is up and no good. Rebound tried by McDonald is over the backboard, and whistle blows, and we're going to have a foul called against Oregon State.
USC will drop to 5-4 and Pac-10 play. I think it's going to be awfully tough for them to win the conference from this point, but they're still very much in a race for second place, although Arizona State University has only 1 loss. Arizona still has to play in Southern California. And USC figures to get much better with Dwight Anderson and Mike Owens playing more and more.
Yeah, they're a very different looking team in the way they set up even than we saw them just a couple of weeks ago. They had been playing a 1-4 kind of offense where they just really had 4 forwards, no center, and 1 guard. Now with the addition of Anderson, they're a little bit more traditional. And I would think just on the way Mike Owens has played today that even though he's not a real big guy, he probably is much more out of the mold of a center than anybody else.
Bigger than what they've got.
30 seconds remain here. It's a 53-44 ball game. Whistles blow. Got another foul. This one's going to go against the Trojans. Ron Holmes, the guilty party.
Ron Holmes.
Holmes just a freshman. Out of El Toro, California. 6'5", 190 pounds. He'll be seeing more action as time goes on.
Radford only 5 points. Well, this is one of the real bad games I've seen him have offensively because I thought he forced a lot of shots. But again, we talk about defense. He made some fine steals out there. Really plays it well.
Yeah, interestingly, the Trojans did manage to shut off both Radford and Bloom, 2 people we talked about right at the very top of this program.
Yeah, a lot of people have said if you can stop those 2, you can stop Oregon State, but they still get into their offense, even if they're not scoring.
Yes, they're kind of smiling about something.
Well, he was trying to help the official out there, I think. Crowd likes that. They like to see a player smile, that he's having a good time out there.
This is Ratkovich. Takes the jump shot with the right hand. Has it from about 23 feet.
22, George Ratkovich.
55-46 ball game. Trojans going to a trapping defense now. And here's Owens with the interception. Bloom tries to sneak around him, but Owens gives it up quick enough. This is Anderson to the basket. And has it.
Number 11, Dwight Anderson.
And we are just about run out of time. 1 second left, and that's it. The final score here at Gill Coliseum, Oregon State maintaining its perfect record. They are now 17-0, 9-0 in the conference, and they win it. The final score, 55-48. For Lynn Shackelford then, I'm Barry Tompkins. We'll see you next week from Tempe, Arizona.